Bellowing engines, the Yamaha versus the Vision Truck Ducati. Oh! Huge moment for Darren McKenzie. Loses the back end as he's squirting out of the hairpin. Gets thrown over the top.
Yeah, I know that is British Superbike and not MotoGP, but that is my entire point. As we look at this again, ouch. You know what he did? He exceeded track limits one time because it's grass. MotoGP changed it for safety to paint so that they can override. However, they changed the rules in 2019 and then more recently again this year. So here's the problem that I have it, and actually many riders have, other than Quartararo, for example, in MotoGP. Rossi brought this to light. Right here, there we are in slow motion. He exceeded track limits and he's paying the price. Now, no one should pay that kind of price for exceeding track limits, but under the new rules in MotoGP, the problem that we have is that you can exceed track limits just like that 3 times before you get a warning. The 4th one is a freebie, and on the 5th, that's when you have to take a long lap. So you really get to exceed track limits 4 times before you're penalized. You get 4 free, and the 5th one you have to pay for. So my whole point with this one is that this is an issue, because there are times when you go, well, they're taking a wider, so they're going off the track and it's longer, but sometimes it sets them up for a quicker corner. It allows them to pass where they're not allowed to pass. They go wide because they went too hard into the corner. So although sometimes it's not like they're cutting a corner, they're going wider, they're setting themselves up for a faster turn. And that's part of the problem. Now, when we start looking at some of the issues here, in 2021, they put pressure sensors in at the circuits so that they can more accurately police their transgressions, all right? So the fundamentals haven't changed, but the fact that they can catch people quicker did change. It still doesn't take away the fact that in British Superbike, one little situation like this and he's out of the race. Again, I'm going to repeat myself. That is one hell of a penalty to pay for exceeding track limits. Obviously, it's not as safe as having green paint. But why is it that you could exceed track limits 5 times in MotoGP before you're penalized? If MotoGP is supposed to be the pinnacle, then they should be held to a higher standard. Why they are not, I have absolutely no idea. Now, some of the riders have pushed for stricter track limits. All right, Aprilia, Alex Espargo has revealed riders have been pushing for MotoGP track limits rules to be made stricter than they currently are. And one of the most vocal people is going to be Valentino Rossi. All right. Now, you have other guys like Fabio Quartararo. He said that the track limits are going overboard with the rule, and he doesn't want to have to take a for example, he took a 3-second penalty he got in Barcelona. Well, guess what? Don't exceed track limits, and it'll change the way that guys ride. The bottom line is that this is a problem because, again, it's not like what you just saw in British Superbike one time and that guy's out of the race. We're talking in MotoGP at a higher level 5 times before you're penalized. 5 times you could exceed track limits. And you add those 5 together, or 4 free ones, and they could have set you up to gain time in the corner. And people may be using these, riders, racers, may be using these to their advantage. So I want to discuss it below. It would be nice to get a nice conversation going on this and see what we have and what kind of opinions we have with this. Let me know in the comments below. Should we tighten up the rules? Maybe after the third, you get a long lap. How does that sound? And of course, they make adjustments. If you're on the last lap where you can't make a long lap, then they make the adjustment at the very end. And this is one of the reasons why they put the long lap in, was to not have to add time at the end of a race. So this way, whatever the finish is what the finish is. So unless you don't do your long lap or you screw up at the very end on the last lap, then they will add time. All right, I think MotoGP needs to tighten this up. I believe that 5 mistakes before you're penalized is too many, way too many in my opinion. This is Rainbow. Like and subscribe and comment below on what you think about these track limits.